Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 12th of September. So looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday was ended up a doji day. Certainly flew up in the morning, but certainly couldn't keep up hold of its gains nor losses in the end, and as I say, ended up pretty much as a doji. Now we're off a bit at the moment, but the pattern's changed. I say this changed. It's continued to question the strength of the euro at the moment, but that may well all change come Thursday. I mean, tomorrow as the ECB reports, and we'll see if they take a stronger stance within the markets. But if they don't, well, we've still got effectively lower highs coming through. Even this high yesterday came in lower, and generally lower low. Some of the this current low hasn't really. We had this little in between bit here, which on the intermediate time frame we gave a higher low and was pushing up. But overall, it doesn't look particularly bullish at the moment. And when you come and look at the 60-minute, we've got really a bit of classic head and shoulder sort of pattern sitting there, which pretty much forms the pattern, the idea that the potential to break this 1580 area and sell off towards yesterday's lows, maybe that 60-minute 500, maybe even back again towards the monthly pivot. The weekly pivot's been sort of holding us so far, provide resistance at one point and support thereafter. Pretty much it has closed once below it, but maybe it's got potential to push on. And looking at the size of the head, well, the shoulder may go at least down towards the S1, maybe more if it breaks that side. Opposite side of the coin, we've always got to watch. I would only get bullish if it starts pushing above the daily pivot there. Would be a more bullish side, in which case I would look towards the bodies, the heads of the bodies there, and then the R1 to the upside. So erring towards the bearish side at the moment. Looking at news-wise, just to check, there's no news actually coming out which will affect the euro dollar today as such, unless any more Brexit comments come out. We have got no, it's an FMC member speaking, so we can't have any ECB speakers speaking so close to a meeting. Now the pound's in a bit of a different shape. It's come up to the dailies first, and bit more of a different daily shape. It too sold for a while yesterday, massive sell at one point, which did us a favour, but it's a slightly different pattern what we're looking at here with the high lows, higher highs that have gone through overall. There was the sort of the pitch in between there, but it too at the moment looks like it could roll over. But as I said, the 4 hour, particularly in the more recent time here, it looks much more like we've got these sort of this sort of upper ranging channel at the moment. So maybe another test back down here could give us some support to push up. So I'd be watching for that quite carefully. As I said before, though, the pound is risky. I mean, we did trade it yesterday, which is a rarity for me at the moment. It was one of those that was. It was a good setup. As it happened, it all happened for us very quickly, and we netted a good result. But I would still say tread carefully. Positive surprises could come in there just as easily as we could get negative surprises. But the trend, as I say, to me, with what it's doing here is different to what the euro is doing, and it's more positive. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, ended up positive yesterday, and it could just continue in that mode, which sort of goes against, I don't know, the pound, the euro. Yeah, they do look a little bit bearish at the moment, so a push up here could be on the cards. It's just been channeling up there quite well. It's in a good trend. I'd be looking for longs rather than shorts on this, but it hasn't. It's got very shallow retracements at the moment. Didn't catch the pivot so far. Maybe if it catches a pivot later today. Missed it yesterday, so well, we may see it get hit. Has put high lows, high highs in there. It's all shaped up in that sort of trend at the moment, but as I say, just a case of pitching it now. If it starts breaking through this 34 moving average, I'd be a bit wary. It may be an opportunity to buy around the 50, but by doing so, it'll have put a lower high in lower low, so it starts changing the shape. But we'll see. It's a possibility there on the yen. Aussie dollar. Well, the Aussie. It's consolidated here at the moment. You see the range of the days. It's getting smaller and smaller, effectively, just about. I mean, okay, today isn't finished, and we've still got that weekly pivot above. It looks weak as a whole. I do wonder if at some point it will break the lows. It sort of pitched lower yesterday at one point there, effectively it has broken the lows. You look at this, the price action it is doing now, it looks weak. It's not one, as I say it regularly, I don't day trade this, but if you was looking at it, maybe a continuation of this current movement to the downside would be possible. Where would it take us? The pivots are so pinched, they're not going to give us too much of a clue. You've really got to start coming out and looking at the previous lows, and you've really got to go back to the weekly pictures to see, and we've broken a lot of the significant, and you then start looking, well, where's the monthly? and the more significant lows are sitting here, maybe at 69.40. There'll be round numbers at 700, the 70 area. So that's where it could be heading down to. Certainly on the bigger picture, it looks weak. Right, okay, that's the Aussie dollar, and finally the Canadian dollar. It's going to come down the time frames a bit. We don't really need to be quite so high there from my daily outlook, but I just wanted to show you the pictures of the Aussie. Okay, so it strengthened quite considerably yesterday against the US dollar. The US dollar weakening there. It broke even back through that trend line. So quite often you get a retest of a trend line and then it bounces. Maybe it just wants to hit the monthly pivot, and we could see a bounce here. It's certainly a possibility. It's another one that's not really an intraday currency for me. I think it takes away too many people's earnings or income. It's the land of prom. It's all milk and honey, and then it takes it away from you. And that's having not traded it or lost much on it at all. I just watch what it does to other people. Consolidating where it is at the moment, you would say, with the break of the trend here that we saw. You'd expect further downside maybe. It has got its untouched daily pivot above, of course. I don't really like these patterns where perhaps it's shown a bit of weakness here in terms of this downward move, because it's pushed down, pulled up, not made a new low there, pulled back up, come back, and it may, well, if it breaks that 8, it could be on for the daily pivot. Not a lot more to say on that at the moment. The weakening of the other currencies, if they will go weak, maybe it will push up, as I say, towards that daily pivot. That's pretty much it for today. News-wise, there's very little out. 1:30, we've got the PPI for the US, Producers Price Index, which markets will look at to a degree just to see how inflation's going through the markets, but it's not really affecting consumers as such. And crude oil inventories at 3:30, which may affect the Canadian dollar here. So a speaker at 5:45, so late news today. So there we go, a quiet one potentially from a news point of view, and as I say, unless we get a bit of Brexit news. Have a great day. Bye for now.